Good evening. Welcome to the Qualk Show and happy Saturday night. That's right, I'm bringing that back because I miss it. And it's all about me. On tonight's show, we are going to be talking all about TTC and TWW. And we are going to go into what those acronyms mean as we go along today. Meet your panel. We've got the usual suspects. We've got Hallie. We've got Stephanie. And we have yours truly, Carol. Before we go any further, Hallie, how can the viewers get a hold of us? How can they interact with us? How can they check out what's coming up on the upcoming shows?
One of the most important things to do is make sure that you've hit subscribe to the button below. There's actually a problem with YouTube right now where people are accidentally unsubscribed. So make sure you hit that red button. If it's red, that means you're not subscribed. Hit red, subscribe button. Make sure that you're a fan on our Facebook page, that you've hit the like on our Facebook page. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, you name it, we're on it. The Qualk Show. Find us, hit us, like us, damn, go.
Boom. Awesome. How was everybody's week? Stephanie and I were just discussing that my week's been a bit of a shit show on every different level. If you follow me on Carol's Comedy Corner, you saw that I have been trying to step up my cardio, and that is not making me feel good quite yet. What about you guys? Steph, how was your week?
I started a new job, so that's always great.
She says with like super sarcasm.
Well, as a parent,
you love
you know it is
job.
because like, you're always in a firing squad, and then with my personal life in relation to being a parent, I feel like lots of things change professionally for me all the time. So just when you get comfortable, you're like, by the way, I got a new job and all the crap that comes with it. So I love my new job. It's fantastic. But, you know, any change is mind-boggling.
100%. Hallie, what about you? What does your week look like? You've been doing kickboxing and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yes, I am all sorts of red face right now because I literally just got done at an hour kickboxing class and I'm dying and I can't breathe and my asthma is kicking up, but I'm feeling good. I'm also getting really far in my surrogacy journey. So make sure that you are subscribed so you can see the videos about that because coming up soon is a transfer.
Oh my gosh, that's exciting. That's so exciting. And Stephanie said to Hallie the other day, I can't believe you're going to be pregnant. And Hallie's like, why? She's like, because you like to drink and party and all this stuff.
I do.
But I have no doubt.
But I don't do it when I'm pregnant, I promise.
Exactly. So save your comments for somebody.
No, she's like an addict where she does all the heroin at once because she knows she's going to rehab.
Exactly.
For the record, Hallie is not doing it.
I binge on all the food.
I love it.
Just mild cocaine in the kitchen, but it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. I could use some heroin right now. I'm not going to lie. I mean, that would really jumpstart my diet plan. I always say to people, you know, I'm not a drug addict. Like, unless it's maybe pot, I'm not a drug addict because this girl's too chubby. I need to go on the Jenny Crack diet, I think, a little bit. But I'm going to try working out first and see how that goes. So we're going to continue our discussion all month long. We've been talking about various situations and topics regarding procreation and having babies and all of that wonderful stuff. And today we're going to continue this discussion talking about TTC and TWW. That's right. Try to figure it out. Make whatever words up you can because that's what I did. Let's start with you, Hallie. What the hell do these acronyms mean?
I posted that on Facebook earlier this week and my best friend texted me. She's all, TCC, TWW, what? TTC is trying to conceive, and TWW is the 2-week wait. So they're just acronyms. If you're in that realm and you're in any Facebook groups, you know what those acronyms mean. And if you don't, now you know.
Yeah. See, I am in a lot of the parenting groups.
2 weeks.
Sorry, go ahead, honey.
Oh, no, the 2-week wait also is the time between when you implant or when you do your home insemination and then when you can a pregnancy test. So that's what that 2-week wait is. And trying to conceive is obviously trying to conceive.
Yeah, I always knew what the TTC meant because I'm in a lot of those groups, but I'd never heard of TWW. And Hallie called me out on it on last week's show as I was introduced to, or I was saying what we're going to talk about this week. She's like, "Do you even know what that is?" I'm like, Not a clue. Not a clue. I mean, I didn't realize that there was an actual term for having to wait. I mean, usually it's just called waiting. But we've got, we've got a term for everything, and I'm getting up to speed on all
We
of
do,
that.
and an acronym for every term.
Exactly. Did you know what 2-week wait was, Steph, before this show? You did, eh?
Yeah,
Of course
but
you did.
when we went through IVF, it was more of like the 2-minute wait because Adria pretty much left the clinic and was like, let me pregnancy test. And then the next day, let me pregnancy test. And so she tested out the HCG to make sure she no longer had it in her system. Is that right? HCG, Hallie? I don't know. Whatever it was, like whatever hormone she had in her body. And then there's like a day or two where you don't have any. And then all of a sudden the pregnancy tests will come up positive. So then she like tested every day of that. I think we spent more in pregnancy tests than we did on the actual procedure.
Yeah. Which is dumb.
And it kept telling us we're pregnant. So
yeah. Well, I don't get that. Like, don't you know when you leave if they've correctly put the sperm on the egg? Like, I haven't been through that part. So
you need a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So you can put it in there, but it takes 2 weeks for your body to accept the embryo, start to create the embryo, start to,
so
close
even
over
though
the
they put
embryo.
the sperm right on the egg, it still might not accept it. It might be like, bitch, I'm too good for you.
Oh yeah.
So get
Yeah,
off.
that's
Well,
what makes it attractive.
And then even with IVF, it's already a created embryo. They've already put this, they know that the sperm is in the egg, and then they put it in your fluffy little nest, and you still don't know if it takes.
Because
Wow.
they scientifically can do everything they can to get that embryo there. They can do it at the last possible second where it goes in as a blastocyte and life is good. But that nothing can make your uterine lining except that embryo. Nothing.
Yeah. Nothing
That's
will
the
make my
biological
uterine
part of your body
except
work.
an embryo, that's for sure. So what is your body doing during the 2-week wait? Like, what kind of symptoms are you going to be having? Yeah, just waiting. Like, are you going to be having any like false pregnancy symptoms? Are you going to be having any cramping? Are you going to be having anything like that? Or it's just like literally waiting?
You can have
You
cramping.
have all of it.
But
You have all of it.
But a cramp could mean that it took, a cramp could mean that it didn't take.
it could mean if you
Spotting
had an
could
instrument up your hoo-ha and somebody was in there.
Yeah, a spotting could mean that the embryo took, and that's why they're spotting. It could also mean that it didn't take, and you're slowly starting your period. There is nothing that's like, oh yeah, other than a positive pregnancy test, there is nothing that tells you that you're going in the right track during those 2 weeks, which is why you want to rip your hair out.
And the surrogate told them that she was already having cravings, and I was like,
Bitch, you're just hungry.
actually possible for you. Yes. You just like tacos. There's no way.
Yeah, I'm having some cravings
lie,
too, okay? And
fatty.
then trust me, there's no way I'm
Don't
pregnant.
lie, you a fatty.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I love it. So I guess the biggest thing for people during the 2-week wait is to be realistic with your expectations. Don't put too much into it, which is hard to do when you're trying to conceive, right?
Yeah, especially depending on how you go about it, how much money you've spent into this, and emotions. I mean, money is the last word. I mean, all the emotions and all the trying and all of that. It's just trying to take your mind off of the fact that you're like, this is our end date. This is when we'll know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It takes all the romance out of it, to be honest with you. Because when
Yeah.
you go into creating a family, you're feeling super romantic about it. And everybody's like, we're going to get pregnant and it's going to be great. And then the reality of how pregnancy works sets in. For a lot of people, it happens a lot of times because whether it happens right away or, in our case, for our second child, it took us 13 months to do it.
Yeah.
You realize like how technical it is and how pissed off you are at Teen Mom, the show, for all those bitches getting pregnant really young. Because you're like, how did that happen on that one random night that the condom happened to break that you got pregnant? And I'm sitting here with $40,000 in debt trying so hard to get that goddamn thing to stick to the lining.
Yeah, that's one of the things that neither Nicole or I really thought about going into this. We basically could have just taken the first $1,500 or $1,200 that we spent and just flushed it down the toilet because that's basically what we did. Because the other thing, and one of the other things I want to talk about is that ovulation, especially when you're breastfeeding, can be really off. And so ovulation sticks, things of that nature don't even work. It doesn't even matter. And to comment on what you're talking about with Teen Mom, I mean, I said that too. Like, how do all these young teens. Why is it always young teens? Everybody's pregnant, but we can't get pregnant. And the reason is, in a lot of cases, is that you're using washed sperm when you're doing conceiving the way that we conceive, whether it's IUI. I'm not sure about IVF. I'd have to let you be more expert on that. But and so when you're just having sex, you're kind of having sex all the time, so you're constantly putting more sperm in there, and B, how are you laughing at me? And B, the sperm can live up to 7 days inside of you. So these girls they're not necessarily having sex when they're ovulating. They can get pregnant at any time after that, up to 7 days or whatever it is. But when you're doing IUI, or I always get, there's so many terms. What's the other, what's the one, not IUI?
ICI.
Thank you.
ICI.
Thank you. There's literally
IUI is intrauterine insemination.
Yes.
ICI is intercervical, and then there's IVF.
And yeah, I know what they mean, but I'm just like, there's so many terms going on right now, so many acronyms. But you basically have a 4-hour window of when like the egg drops, and because the washed sperm is only good for, what is it, 4 hours, Hallie? Do you know?
I honestly don't know the timelines.
It's some ridiculously short period of time. So that kind of is why the girls on Teen Mom are getting pregnant, because they're probably doing their dudes a lot and the sperm just stays in there.
Well,
And
also is their eggs are really ready to go. Are kind of slowing up and taking a nap.
Exactly. And for us, it's hard to pinpoint ovulation, but even if you do, you've got a very small window to get things done. Hey, Steph?
Yeah, and that's also why, like, for us, the investment of IVF and doing the best possible procedure for us, while it's expensive to do the routes that we did, and it was allotted to us for insurance, we've gone into that to other shows. So you can check them if you're watching the show to see what I'm talking about in previous shows. I never once wanted to try to get pregnant outside of a clinic or try to go and find my own donor sperm or anything, because I know the heartbreaking part of that not working. And for me, I wanted the best possible scenario. So we literally ate practically ramen noodles, and like we made financial choices in our life so that we could do the best possible scenario for us, because I was afraid of the heartbreak that would come with going with more traditional methods, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
But untraditionally, I don't know. I didn't want to play guy. I wanted to like do it as lesbian as I could. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, for sure. So one of the things, that we're talking about right now is the ovulation, and what I said, it's hard to know exactly when you're ovulating. Hallie, I would imagine that this is something that you have to be kind of aware of when you're doing surrogacy and things of that nature. So what are some of the things that tell you that you're ovulating, other than maybe an ovulation stick? Is there anything else that people can look for or watch for that indicates that you might be close to or ovulating? Good question, Hallie?
Not all at once.
I could not hear.
Okay.
You said other than the ovulation.
I thought she was about to take her shirt off.
My connection is awesome right now.
Other than the ovulation
You said
sticks, other than the ovulation sticks, what are some of the other signs that a woman can look for to know that she might be either approaching ovulation or starting ovulating?
There's so many different, any fertility book will give you all of the different ways. So there is taking your basal temperature, your basal thermometer temperature. So you can kind of watch your temperature rise and lower. I don't remember, Stephanie, do you know, does it drop right before?
Did you say basal or basal?
I don't know. I don't think we had to do that, because they did
thermometer
it for
temperature.
Okay.
Yeah, so these are all like at-home methods.
Okay.
Basal?
So
like,
you did say basal. And what does that mean for our viewers and me?
Yeah,
because I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my God. Seriously, guys, I need to switch over to my phone. This computer's making me want to fucking shoot it.
Well, you're good on this end.
Yeah, you're totally good on this end. I can hear you. Okay, well.
I'm here.
One of the things, there was so many things that Nicole, like, I don't know if they're old wives' tales or whatever, but obviously there's the temperature. Your temperature goes up or down, I believe, when you're ovulating. Some of the other things are some cramping. Sometimes women get a little bit of cramping when they're ovulating. Yes?
I do. Yes, that's definitely, you have to be really in tune with your body, and you have to, ovulation gets kind of weird, but yeah.
I've also heard that can be a change in I was going to say seminal fluid. We're talking about women. There can be a change in the cervical fluid or your discharge. It can become sticky because here's another thing.
It becomes watery.
I'm a career lesbo. I didn't necessarily realize there's tons of different kinds of fluid coming out of the vag. I mean,
and if you want to get really technical, you can actually put it under a microscope, and right before you're about to ovulate, it looks like, under a microscope, it looks like a fern.
A fern.
Not to get off topic, but it's very similar to how women's breast milk adapts to how old the baby is and what if they're sick or not. So I just think that your body's so in tune, and during that process, it's amazing how it adapts.
Also, Mother Nature knows what she's doing, because usually you also get really horny right before you're gonna ovulate, or at least I do.
Okay.
When you go through IVF, you get really horny, but you're not allowed to have sex because it can cause the embryo to attach itself.
That's really fun. You're just
I mean, if your partner's good at her job, it would be unattached.
Yeah.
I'm gonna edit that out.
Yeah, I do remember that. Like you were saying that, like when we tried to do it at home, that we actually ended up doing it at like the worst time, because I guess I don't know. She probably doesn't. I don't know if she wants me talking about this, but what the hell? It was like really, really sticky, and apparently that's like the worst time, because just think about it. Like for the sperm to get through the stickiness to get in there is like a lot of work that it's not going to do. So what you said, Hallie, is that it's almost like water when you're at the optimal, and makes it easy for the swimmers, right?
I just want to say full disclosure for any heterosexual women, that is not a form of contraception. Discharge, that doesn't mean you can have sex whenever you wanted to.
Yes.
And
you can have sex whenever you want, but you might get pregnant.
You might.
Right. So what about this? This is a question that I see asked a lot, is how long should a woman be off the pill before she tries to conceive? And people might say, well, this is a lesbian show, who's on the pill? Believe it or not, there's actually a lot of lesbians that are on the pill for either to control their flow, different things, and we're
endometriosis, cysts, absolutely. It's an amazing drug.
Lots of different reasons that you might be on the pill. So if you're trying to get pregnant, how long should you wait? Anybody have any idea?
I don't think it's that long, because they put me on the pill during the IVF process. So they had to syncopate Adrienne and I to ovulate at the same exact time. And at any given time, they put us on birth control. Okay. Now, I don't know if it's because we don't take it, and that in that short amount of time, it wouldn't do something physiologically to me. But I do know some people who have been on the pill for most of their life that are having problems now in their relationships getting pregnant. So it could be a combination of different things. But
Stephanie, yours
part of time, you guys. So.
IVF is different though, because yes, they put you on the pill to syncopate you, but then they also throw your body into shots and all the hormones to make you go pregnant. So if you're trying to do at-home insemination, that would be completely different. I'm trying to Google it right now.
Interesting.
It says after tell you have cancer and you're going to die. Don't do that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It says that I have testicular cancer. How does that happen?
I mean, your
it's your lady balls. It's in your lady balls. They're inside. They're innies, not outies.
No, that's very true.
Yeah, all I know is that I'm not pregnant, because I just started my period today, and I am feeling all of these effects. I am feeling the cramping. I am feeling the bloating. I'm feeling the bitchiness. I'm feeling all of it. Okay, so when is the best time? Obviously, you've got to be ovulating, but is there a position or something like that that would be best for getting pregnant when you're having sex, or does it matter? Like, should you be standing on your head? Should you be doggy style? Should you be missionary? I'm hoping you say doggy style. That would be the best.
Actually, yeah. Anything, if you're using like a home insemination, yes, you want anything that's going to get the sperm as close to the cervix as possible.
Yeah.
And then you want to make sure that you orgasm, because when you orgasm, your cervix opens up and actually dips down and is like, I'll grab that, put it where it needs to go, Yeah,
Any
you're
woman
welcome.
that's had an
Class.
orgasm knows that, like, after you orgasm, you can feel those muscles contracting.
Shaking.
Yeah.
And that's when you want to make sure that your bum is at a tilt, that you are, at an opposite angle to make sure that your gravity is working in your favor. It's not a guarantee.
I find it hard to believe that every heterosexual woman has had an orgasm in order to get pregnant then.
Come on.
Oh, it's not a requirement. It just helps.
Yeah, it's not a,
Okay.
as most heterosexual women know, it's not a requirement.
I'm just saying.
Just kidding, hets.
So keep on faking it, ladies, because we're on to
Keep
you.
on faking it.
So
You
I
can
actually
still get pregnant.
I know I had a friend who was trying to get pregnant, and she was trying and trying and trying, and her husband was trying and trying and trying. And she finally had to think about one of her college girlfriend experiences in order to come so that she could. And she happened to get pregnant that route.
I love it. So is that like, she's kind of like, should she do a DNA test? Like, is she like, she got pregnant with somebody else? Like, how
Well,
is that?
if that's the situation, then I think there's a lot of hetero girls that are pregnant with Brad Pitt's child.
That's true. That's true. That's true. So basically you're saying any sexual position will do, but if you're trying to get pregnant, move your hips up, things of that nature. Now you're going to want to have an orgasm afterwards if at all possible.
Yep.
And if that's not possible, sucks to be you. Well, there's a lot
Swipe left. Take care of it yourself.
there's a lot of pressure there when this is going on, right? Like,
Oh, yeah.
and it's funny because I remember saying, this is so bad. I remember saying when we were trying to get Nicole pregnant at home, like, I'll get you off, but I am not going down because I don't want any of that in my mouth.
So, funny story, when we were trying to get pregnant with my daughter, we took the sperm down frozen, and then they took it to the embryologist to heat it up, and then we did an IUI in the office. And so they came into the room with the little pipette filled with the heated up sperm, and it needed to stay body temperature. It can't drop below, otherwise it starts to die. So they handed it to my ex-wife, and the doctor says, this has to stay at body temperature. So you can either put it between your thighs or under your armpit. She's all, under my armpit. Like, it's just, nope, not going near my vag. Not happening.
That's hilarious. I wish I had known that when I was taking my my drug test for welding, like for marijuana. So I just got to put the pee under my armpit, or where was the other place?
Between your thighs. That's where you keep your body temperature.
So I'm walking in with it between my thighs. That doesn't look obvious at all. So home pregnancy tests, are these worth taking at all, or should you go to a doctor to avoid incorrect results?
Well, that's the whole part of the 2-week wait, because they said come back in 2 weeks and we'll test you. And then my wife and every other wife in America goes to the drugstore and goes, it's over the counter. It must be the same. So why don't we just equal this as a blood test and just start peeing on them? And
so what is the difference between, I know you can do a blood test at the doctor's to see if you're pregnant, but what's the difference between the urine test you do at home and the urine test you do at the doctor's?
Percent of accuracy.
Nothing. No, nothing. It's the exact same test.
How is that the exact same test?
The urine test that the doctors get is the exact same.
Really?
So they just have like, what's one of the brands, like sitting in the back, and they just give you one?
Honestly, the 88 cents one from Walmart is the one that I use when I do surrogacy, because it's 88 cents. I start testing 5 days after. I'm that crazy tester. The fifth morning, I'm peeing in a little cup, doing my little droppers.
I love it.
It picks up the same. You can see the faint lines. It's totally the same. Now the blood tests are different. The blood test can pick up. Yeah. Oh yeah. The blood test will pick up, at a level 12 HCG, where I believe home pregnancy tests won't pick up before like 49 until your level's there. So that's where the difference is.
What does HTC or whatever stand for?
A human growth, human HC, human something.
HGC, human growth.
No, it's HCG.
Okay.
You're making me do all the Googling.
Hey, I'm trying to give the viewers all of the information here that they're going to need to, start this process from those of us that have been through it. And obviously, we're still looking it up. We have no idea.
Okay, you want to know what it is? Google it your damn self, because I'm not pronouncing that. It's this.
Oh, just wait. human chorionic.
Okay, for the record, my wife handles all of this.
Yeah, exactly. Me too.
Human chorionic grand. Yeah,
And
that's
that
what it is.
basically detects another human being.
Yes, that's what is in your body when another human being joins you.
Interesting. So, trying to conceive.
We're obviously doctors. I just wanted to say.
Yeah.
Clearly, we're medical professionals.
And that when you pay all the money to do it, clearly it makes you even more educated.
Yeah.
And you spend months and 2 weeks in forums just being like, Google, Google.
Hey, before I tried with Nicole, I didn't even know what washed and unwashed sperm was. Like, I'd never even heard
Why
of
would
that.
you? Why would a power washer have a fucking clue about different types of sperminator?
This is washed. This is unwashed.
Okay, so to answer the question, the dollar store pregnancy test. I'm looking it up because this is what I found earlier. The dollar store pregnancy
on the dollar store website because they're going to tell you this shit's just as good.
It will pick up your HCG level at 20 MIU. So I don't know, whatever. Clear Blue Easy. So dollar store. Clear Blue Easy, you're going to pay like $15 for two. $15 for two, $12 for two. That picks it up at 25.
Same.
Why are you spending $15 more than you have to?
Tell me about that, because that's the one we had.
First response. She wants to know the stats on first response.
Okay.
By the way,
response is actually higher.
We are not in any way sponsored by any of these brands.
No. But if you'd like to sponsor us, we'll talk about you.
So first response early result picks up between 15 and 25. But the main first response picks up at 25.
So
again, I say dollar store picks up at 20.
Well, it's because there's a lot of.
Why doesn't the dollar store just use the same technology? Like, does it like up it by $12 a shot if they go up?
So many people want to pay for the digital. It shows this, and now they have ones that like not only. Well, digital, but it has a Bluetooth in it, and it will send this to your phone, and it tells you how.
Talk to your vagina.
Why?
Get in there. You can like cheer the sperm on.
Stick, Junior. Stick.
You cost mommy a lot of money. You need to get in there.
Don't you stop.
Yeah. Don't you stop. Work it.
Well, and actually, I'm going to be doing probably in the next week. I'll be doing a video about all of the different. Old wives' tales and superstitions for trying to conceive and things that you do for IVF. So, because I'm doing them all for surrogacy, like all of them.
I love it. We definitely need those. If you guys at home have any questions or concerns about the information that we have given out today, please feel free to contact Stephanie.
I got my degree at www.google.com.
WebMD is just as good as a regular, right?
Hey, I was looking up things on WebMD today, and I just came up with some.
Did it tell you that you had testicular cancer?
I was pregnant. I was like, wow.
And
we weren't even trying to get me pregnant.
Immaculate conception.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing immaculate about me. We all know that. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight. We always have a lot of fun talking about all of this stuff. I hope we haven't offended anyone. And if we have, then you're not our target audience. When you're not our target audience.
Yeah, sorry.
You can go ahead and subscribe about anything but sleep.
Exactly. We will see you all next week when we're going to be taking on the hot button issue. I don't know if it is a hot button issue because most of my friends do it, but I guess it could still be a hot button issue of bottle versus breastfeeding and other triggering parenting issues. I actually do know that it is still a hot button issue, and not only is bottle versus breastfeeding a hot button issue, but also how long you should breastfeed. So we'll talk about all of that on next week's show. So thank you for tuning in tonight. I had a lot of fun. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button. Follow us at the Qualk Show on Facebook. Check out all of our personal pages. You can find them on the Qualk Show. And remember, there is always something to quack about. We'll see you next week, everybody.